Well, hello again everyone, and welcome back to Kovac Enterprises. I'd like to start off this video showing you an introduction to my next build on my workbench. As you can see in front of you, it's the American Chopper V Twin Custom Motorcycle. As you can see on the cover, it's got some pretty good graphics for the artwork on there. Kind of indicate what the actual model will look like once it's put together and assembled. You know, born to be wild. That's what it says on the corner there. This is basically a 1/12 bike in the scale bike series, and it's made by the company of Aoshima. And I did buy this a few years back from my local hobby place. At that time, it was about just under $32 for this kit. It comes in a pretty big box, as you can see right there. Pretty much takes up the whole room of my camera right here. Basically, a lot of Japanese, I guess, writing on the side here as far as the box itself, as you can see here on this one side. Of course, if we turn it around, that's another profile look of what the actual chopper looks like without the background. So there's our American chopper there. And as we flip it around here, you can also see we got some other pictures here on the side. One, I guess, says Vibes Fox 2012, so it shows some pictures of some models posing on different bikes there. And then of course on this one, this looks kind of almost like the profile picture of Peter Fonda. At least that's what it looks like to me here. And this one actually says Heaven's Door Shin on it. So like I said, that's pretty much it all the way across the board here, as you can see. So without further ado, let me kind of put this back in frame, and this is the next bike I will be putting together. And this actually is the first motorcycle model kit actually, you know, going to put together for the first time. So with that being said, what I'll probably end up doing, give me a moment, and we will go ahead and open up the box and see what's inside. So I'll do a quick little out-of-box review for you guys, and we'll be back shortly. See you soon. See you. Well, hello again, and we are back. As you can see, I actually went ahead and cut off the cellophane that was wrapped around the box itself with a hobby knife. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside the box. So go ahead and put this thing down and lift her up. I'll go ahead and put that right off to the side. So the first thing that coming out of the box is actually a picture of what we showed on the cover of the box itself. Is basically the three models that were posing for each of their bikes here. So there you go. That's from Vibes Fox 2002. They give you a little website there, and they actually give you the name of the models. The first one over here is Mio, Mari, the middle one, and Natsumi. I guess that's how you pronounce it. So those are the three models that came out of the box. So we'll kind of just put them right there. Now, as far as what's in the contents of the box, we can kind of go ahead and start with the instructions. I know earlier I was saying, I think I was saying, you know, it was Japanese, but it's probably more or less Chinese from the Aoshima company. Of course, a lot of this is in the language, and of course it gives you the English as well. Again, this is the American Chopper V Twin Custom 1/12 bike scale, and it's got the 106. That's probably the item number on that. So of course, it kind of gives you their take on the instructions themselves as far as the paint color, explanation of a mark, and how to apply the decals. And then of course we have this Heaven's Door Shin portrait there. Looking through the instructions, there are a total of 21 steps. So as you can see here, like I said, again, both in Chinese, I guess, lettering and English. So basically step 1 here is assembling the crankcase, and then we have assembling the mission case for 2. Step 3, assembling the engine itself, and then step 4 would be the assembling the frame. And then as we go down the line, we can see here we have step 5 is assembling the frame continuation for the V twin. And like I said, all these parts are actually kind of showing you like it's E3, C5, so we'll get into that because I believe all the tree sprues are designated with each of these part numbers. So like I said, step 6 here would be your fitting the engine, and then of course step 7 is assembling the rear wheel, and then we have one here for step 8, assembling the rear brake caliper. And then we're kind of going with the fitting the rear wheel for step 9. And then we have the fitting the primary case as it's starting to come together. So we're kind of halfway there with the instructions. And then we go to 11, which is fitting the rear fender, and this is where you want to put one of the decals on. And all the other kind of parts with the hoses and all that kind of stuff. So step 12 then would be the assembling the front fork, left side. And then step 13 is assembling the front wheel, like so. And then we have our next page here would be basically the fitting the front fork to the frame of the motorcycle. And then step 15 would be fitting the headlight lamp. And like I say, we're pointing out these tubes is what they call them. That's this part here, kind of coming up here. They give you the like 60 millimeters, so I guess that's really shaped to possibly where you cut it. So I may have to get myself a millimeter type of ruler and kind of go by that. But like this one here is a tube G to the right tank. So like I said, it's all millimeters, and we'll kind of work on that as we assemble the bike itself. And of course, moving on, we have like step number 16 is the fitting accessories, and then we're going to inject to the inside of the right tank for that particular tube. And then 17 is fitting the left pedal and stand. You can see that like so. And then we get to step 18, which is fitting the muffler. You can see the breakdown on that as it gets attached to the frame of the bike. And then basically getting to the last page here on the back is we go to the fitting the right fitting right pedal. You can see that there. And then we have step 20 is fitting the rest of the accessories to the bike. And of course, a continuation of that, like I say, with the license plates and some of the lamps and stuff like that. So tail lights and all that kind of stuff. So then that's it for the instructions there. 21 steps right there. Now on the back, like I said, when I previously opened this box there, I made sure all the sprue trees were there, and it kind of breaks it down into each one's like this one's going to be tree number 8, and then tree B, and then we have a tree C, and then we come down the line here, that's a tree D, and then we have a tree E, and then we have a smaller tree G with all the parts here, tree J, and then of course they give you the decal sheet, which is right there, and then we have the tree L, and then the tree I, and then finally the tree E. And if you notice, some of these things are kind of highlighted in dark here. If you kind of look on the back side here, you see this part right here. All it says is optional parts, so I guess you may or may not need to use them as you're putting the bike together. So like I said, it's an option. So there you go. So with that being said, that's our instructions there. Now it came with 5 separate bags, not in any particular order. I didn't cut this one open, but you can see here we have like one little part here. That's the it says right on the tree itself. Looks like a couple of tanks, half tanks there. It does say HD V twin. That's our tree number I right there. And then behind that is basically our tree L for the V twin HD. Another set of nice chrome, as you can see there. And then of course the next molded tree is in red, and this is tree number B. And like I said, I know it's kind of hard to see with the light, but each of these trees have a letter on it with the actually all the parts have a number on it as well, so you can coordinate with your instruction book. So that's our first bag there, and then we have another bag filled with chrome. So like I say, I'm going to kind of leave it in the package for right now, but we'll get to it when we actually start putting this stuff together. But the chrome looks pretty good for all the basic parts of the bike itself, and gets you kind of call these kind of like ape hangers right there. Of course, this is tree number J, and like I say, I don't see much flashing. Everything looks molded pretty nice, and it's nice and clean. So there you go. But we'll get into that more when we take it out of the bag itself. Here's another chrome tree for our front wheel, our rear wheel rims on there. Of course, we have our kind of our mufflers right there at top, and all the other kind of parts and accessories we have when we start putting this bike together. And of course, this one looks like another option for handlebars. You can see right here. So, but like I said, we'll get into it once we start putting the bike together and go from there. All right. So next up, I actually opened these bags up. This is kind of like our 3rd or 4th bag here. So you can see here we got some of our nice clear parts here for our windshield, headlamp, our other kind of like tail lights, and I believe one might possibly be a battery. But you can see here, this is the tree number G. So that's kind of part of our clear part there. These are the tubing that it gives you a pretty long tubing part there. So I guess you have to kind of cut it up in as far as what we were talking about with the millimeters and stuff. So hopefully I cut it in the right length, so I have enough of this tubing to go around to complete the build when I assemble it. So that's that there. And then we have a smaller tree. It's a clear part. This actually, it says FX tree number G. So again, you probably have the clear parts for the rear tail light. This is the one that might be the battery here. Like I say, it looks like another option for a headlight in your front and rear kind of lenses. So that's it for the clear parts, and then we get into our bigger tree right here. See if I can get this out. Now looking on the instruction sheet, I didn't see this particular part, but this is probably part for the American chopper itself, as you can see here. So all it gives you is like part number 11 on that. And then we have, of course, our other parts. It's all molded in black. Again, it looks nicely molded and hardly any flash on it. So there's our kind of gas tank there. Probably got some calipers in there, some shocks, and you know, other parts. Your gear shifts, your handles, your foot pedals, and then of course our part of our frame right there. So it's kind of a learning process here for me as far as all the parts of the motorcycle itself. So there's that there, so we'll kind of put that there for this particular bag, and we'll kind of set that out to the side. And then our last bag here, we you know, open that up as well. Again, it's all molded in black. So you can see here we got the different, another option for different seats. It's a two-seater that we have right here. As you can see right there. This is probably like a back support right there. We have probably our front and rear fenders right here. Another couple of little accessories here. I'll have to figure out what those are as we go down the line. But like I said, there's one part of the tree there. And then we've got another tree here, which has the engine. You can see here the engine parts as well. A chain driven, so there's that. And of course, different parts of the cover for the engine itself. So you can see there. Okay. And that's our tree number A, letter A. And then of course we have our decal sheet, which has the stars and stripes on it, probably for the front and rear fenders. We also, looks like we have a speedometer right here as well, and a couple other decals that we probably put on the forks themselves. And I believe this American chopper part probably fits on the back end with the rear kind of license plate area as well. So that's our decal sheet right there. And then last but not least, we can't forget about the tires. I still have them in the plastic here, but as you can see, we got the front, which is right here. That's the front tire. And then we have the rear tire. It's kind of interesting. They got some nice tread on it. And it looks like it's imprinted saying, you know, we have our American version of Goodyear. This one here on the side of the tire says bad year. So I don't know, maybe that's a play on words or just the way they molded the tires. And it looks like a GOGLE, Google CT. There's that. So there's your tires, and that concludes this out-of-box review on the American Chopper V-twin engine custom. And like I said, on our next video, we will start the process as far as starting to build this thing. So until then, Let me get this out of the way a little bit so you can see the ladies. Okay, there you go. And like I said, on our next video, we will go ahead and start the process and get her going. So that being said, I hope everybody has a good day, and we will catch you on the flip side. So this is Kovic Enterprises, and we are signing off.